I have a question for you. I just got this from Elaine Friedman. She lives over on University. And you know what? She said she sent this in like more than a year ago. And they don't, it's in between her house and the next one, and they
Yeah,
don't
no,
rake it.
Nice to have you
Why?
know that.
I know, because it's.
Oh, would it be easier
It's,
for you to be on this
um,
side so you can
She's
see
got
it?
it's,
Am I
she's
blocking?
on, actually on Elmhurst. She.
No, she's not on Elmhurst.
Yeah.
No, am I blocking?
No, she's not.
You
She
do
lives
it
right
if I'm
across from
sitting here?
Kent Kohler.
Okay.
On the driveway.
Wherever you.
Oh, so
She's
another-
on University.
Partnership.
Address is University.
I'm not a
That's
regular
because she
bot, I'm a
might have
bot.
her.
No. But she was
The same thing on Elmhurst, where they
Thank you. All right.
So then here's the chat.
Yep. I had to man that last time, so I'm glad you're here.
My wife, when are you coming home?
Just say never. The meetings are endless.
After the meeting. If you would be on Zoom, you would know where I'm at.
Ask her if she reads her Friday updates.
Today the 6th.
It is. It comes after the 5th every month.
Excuse me,
Yesterday was my boyfriend's
excuse me,
birthday.
is
too.
my wife on Zoom?
Is your wife on Zoom? I don't see her.
Did the notice say 5:30 PM for the open session board meeting?
No,
The
6
what?
o'clock.
Because apparently Will Wizard said it starts at 5:30.
What's set
6
till
o'clock.
5:30?
Open session board meeting. They were saying that. Yeah, the notice said 5:30 PM.
What notice?
What notice?
I don't. I mean, I'm just, don't kill me.
Well,
I'm
you-
just-
You're the one that asked the question.
It's,
Well,
It says 6 PM, so I don't know.
Tell him
I don't
he's.
know what notice it's been run. It said it started at 5:30 PM.
It never starts at 5:30 PM.
it's good to see
I
you.
know Bill was off this Wednesday, so it's.
Well, he's right there.
It's
Ask
right
him.
there.
He might be there, might be there since 5:30.
Look, I could personal chat him. I could private
Well, what
message
the
him.
heck?
He can also hear us right now. All of our mics are on.
Oh, I will.
Yes, that's a microphone, Christina. Yes, it's on. Yes.
Yes.
Said 5:30.
Well, earlier we couldn't figure out why the Zoom sound wasn't working. I was like, you can't hear me? Why can't you hear me? Because we didn't have the mics out. No, we're human. We're allowed to, hey, we didn't keep the mistake in the meeting. We fixed it. That's why we test everything. Oh. Tomorrow's gonna be a really busy day
You're telling me. I have
Yeah.
A bunch of little small, why are you looking like that?
because it's my Friday tomorrow. Yeah. We gotta get the newsletter done tomorrow
Okay,
too.
1 minute.
You could have that. I was going to do it.
I did, I just saw it, so I just did it. So the only thing I have to do now is add the blurb of what was approved tonight, and then I think it's done too.
You did the citing.
It's the same one. Their next phase. I can put which phase they're in now. but they're on the same schedule. Do, do.
6 p.m. that week.
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. I was just saying, like, 6 p.m.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending. This is a business meeting open to members of the Nepenthe Association and guests of the board. The Nepenthe Board of Directors is a policy board, and the role of the general manager is to observe the day-to-day operations. The primary purpose of the meeting is to ensure that the association is meeting its responsibility to provide oversight, maintain the value of the property, and to serve the homeowners. The board met in executive session this afternoon. It was a longer meeting than we all expected. We discussed matters relating to the formation of contracts with third parties and member discipline. The board took the following actions. The Dunbarton door proposal, we approved CPR exterior door replacement of $31,661.64. We approved the sparkling pool proposal to replace the filtration pumps at all 3 pools of the amount of $9,900. And then Carson shrub and stump removal proposals, zone 4, pink, yellow, blue. If you guys have it in color, we approved it in the amount of $56,680, $52,230, and $47,960. And then we also approved the Carson drainage proposals in zone 4 of the amount of $10,900, $19,620, and $10,900. Construction manager report, Nicole.
Yeah, so we have the report from Paul Reeves.
You might want to use the microphone.
Is that better? So we received the update from Paul Reeves, which includes all of the change orders to date for the phase 1 siding project. We also have included in there the patio inspections that are now being completed with management along with Paul Reeves. So we are ahead of the siding repairs where we're going to go in, look at the patio, see what needs to be removed so that CPR and CPR can do their repairs. So I think that's it on Paul Reeves. Anything else you want to add?
Do you want to correct what's in that report about the siding material?
Is it in here?
Is it not in there?
I don't know if it was in here. There was I can just talk on it real
Yeah,
quick. So there was a possible change in the siding type that would have to occur. I know, I can see, no, nothing happened. So we ended up, we might have had to switch to a different siding, but Paul Reeves was really diligent in finding vendors in the area that would still carry the type of siding that we're being replaced currently, that we're using currently. And he was able to find vendors that will not discontinue it, that are continuing to use it. So we are okay for now, and we can stick with this new siding that's being used. But there was a tiny hiccup that Paul had to work through.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions on the board?
You might also note in Paul's report that he is out getting bids for phase 2,
Yes.
and that it looks like phase 1 is going to extend due to weather delays and that from July into perhaps August.
End of August.
No, which is can't
Yeah.
control Mother Nature. So
And we were going to receive phase 2 proposals already, but with the hiccup with the new siding type that they thought they were going to have to change to, they had their vendors rework the request for proposals with the new type of siding that we thought we had to switch to. But since he was able to find a vendor locally to continue supplying that siding, he's going back to the vendors and asking them to modify their proposals. So we should be expecting to receive those phase 2 proposals in the next couple weeks.
Very good.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, committee updates.
Do you want me to move into my management report real quick?
Oh, I'm
too?
sorry, yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So just a few small updates. In the last meeting, it was requested that we start opening the gym at 6 a.m. So if you didn't notice that, the gym is now open at 6 a.m. We have the Dunbarton doors that we are working on. So as Marcus had mentioned, the board did approve the exterior door proposal for the Dunbarton doors, the ones that have been padlocked and unable to be used. They did approve that proposal, so we will be repairing that as soon as possible now. Gutter cleaning has begun today. I know that in the previous gutter cleaning that was performed by Bailey Boys, there were some concerns that were raised. I am staying on top of them as they finish each section, but I urge homeowners as well, if you are seeing any issues with Bailey Boys, please report it to me so that I can be on them as soon as possible to fix it. I don't want them to leave and have the job done and then start getting that feedback. I want to get it immediately so that I can physically go out there and show them what I'm talking about. So if you have any issues, you see any issues, please let me know and I will address it ASAP. And then I'm also working with a vendor to assess concrete repairs in the community. So we've gone through zones 1 through 4 right now. And then I will be assessing 5 through 7 for trip hazards. So, and the board will be reviewing that in the coming months once those proposals are obtained. We just got the clubhouse carpets cleaned. They look great. They had some really bad stains on them. So we ask if you use the clubhouse at all, please make sure you clean up any stains or report any stains that you're not able to clean up so that we can get them cleaned as soon as possible. And then just a reminder for any homeowner that's interested in becoming a candidate for the Nepenthe Board of Directors, please submit your application and all the information required by March 29th to be eligible for the election. And that's it.
What are the main problems with Bailey Boys that you've?
For Bailey Boys?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of concerns regarding the downspouts specifically when they were cleaned last time. A lot of people reporting that they didn't feel like they were actually cleaned out, that Bailey Boys stated that they did, but maybe they weren't cleaned. And there was too much time in between when Bailey Boys completed it to when now these concerns are coming out. So it wasn't on top of during the process. So now that I've heard those concerns, as they finish each of these phases, I will be overseeing the operations to make sure none of those concerns are.
So how
still
do
there.
how do you figure out whether they've cleaned the downspouts or not?
They'd have to test it. They run the water through.
So
and
how
be
do we
able to
know
see
that
it.
they do it?
Well, if I can see it, there was many homes that
Yeah.
we've seen on our walks that we've completed recently for the siding inspections where you can clearly tell
That's not.
where the blockage is at. It doesn't even take an expert to see it. You can see it. So that's all I got.
I have a question on the work order here. On
Yes,
page 74,
yes.
front gate. Again, the front courtyard gate is not functioning properly.
Mhm.
Has that house actually been done by CPR or not? Since it says again, has anybody worked on that before?
They're in that current phase right now in that section. So I would imagine that they'd have to replace it during this phase right now.
Okay. So what I would like is if a homeowner has concerns with gates, fencing and whatnot after they get, done,
Mhm.
I would like to make sure that the homeowners actually contact the office and so we can go back to CPR and correct those issues. That's all I have.
Well, I've
Got it.
I've seen a lot of work orders here for advanced roof design for roof leaks. Is that?
Yeah, quite a few came out
Yeah,
after that.
So is there any sort of, what's the update? For instance, it seems some have been pretty serious. So is that something that has been, I mean, for instance, let's take on page 80.
Mhm.
this had massive leak that is soaking into both floors of the dining room, downstairs, guest room directly. I mean, so what happens here? Because when you call out advanced roof design,
Mhm.
we pay them a cost for that. There's a cost involved,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And then, so then what's the follow-up on this? I mean, this was 7th of February, for instance. What happens? I mean,
So the staff would follow up with them. So Normal is typically the point of contact for all of the work orders and updated them. I know after I generated this report, she closed about half of them out.
that's, so,
But this
okay.
gives a good idea. And this doesn't mean that they're still all open right now to this day, because we're now 9 days since I've done 10 days since I've ran this report. But she did close a bunch out. And so she goes through once a week and makes sure that all of these are updated, that she talks to each vendor, that she gets a status update on each of these work orders.
So these work orders are really, what, 10 days late?
Yeah, because so I ran this report on the 27th. You can see it at the bottom here.
Yes.
And so at that point, and then she had given the updates after, so we had a timing issue too on
Okay,
this work order
thanks. Thank
report.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we talked about getting a meeting or having a meeting with the Advanced Roofing,
Mm-hmm.
because I think we had our last roof inspection about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes. So I'm currently getting proposals for roof inspections, Advanced Roof, and I'm talking to a couple other vendors as well to evaluate each of the roofs and provide their recommendations for repair, maintenance, and so forth. So that's in the works too.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Actually, if anybody is wondering where Jackie is on vacation. I forgot to mention that. So committee updates. I did see Alan Waters, ARC.
I am here. Good evening, directors. Can you hear me?
Hi, Alan. Yes, we can.
Good. Forgive me, I'm a little under the weather with maybe it's allergies or something, and I'm having a little bit foggy, so I may not speak so clearly. There are two aspects of the architectural committee's message this month that are out of the usual. The first is an application the committee has approved to replace only the window glass in windows in a home where the windows have already received dual pane windows. The homeowner wants to reduce noise from Howe Avenue, indeed the two windows facing Howe Avenue. And I consulted with our always helpful construction manager, Paul Reeves. I had never heard of this, but Paul Reeves assures me that it is something that is done to remove the existing two panes of glass in a vinyl framed window and then put in other glass. Apparently there's a sealant that goes between the vinyl, the exterior part, the visible part of the vinyl window frame and the glass. So they replace the sealant and the glass, and that seals it. And he also said he's had experience, or he knows that the particular window contractor someone is using has done a good job with this type of thing. So that with that assurance, the committee voted in favor of this. This is the first one I've ever heard of in Nepenthe that's replacing window glass alone in this manner. And the other matter is that my committee is recommending the board consider eliminating this emergency or urgent letter of agreement for security camera installation that is signed by the general manager and does away with the homeowner needing to put in a regular homeowner improvement application for security camera that first goes to my committee and then the board. There's a appendix to the minutes discussing this.
Can we put this on the agenda for next month?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then do you want to, we do have the 22 Adelphi for the windows, if you want a motion to approve that one.
Yes, we have a couple of proposals here for emergency HVAC and the windows, and I move to accept those recommendations from the committee.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. Do the committee members have any questions? I will add that I and the committee are getting caught up on paperwork, and I have reviewed the draft of the new architectural guidelines or rules back from the attorney and my committee, and sent those to our general manager. And my committee is also working on updates to the section on security cameras. I think there's some updates that we'd like to put in before this document goes back to the attorney, which I assume it might need to go back to the attorney. Anyway, we're making progress. Thank you.
I saw that report today for the security cameras. Very thorough. Thank you.
Thanks to Paul Serafimidis, whose suggestions it was. Thank you.
Okay, outreach committee. Marcy. I saw her.
I have to press the button on top.
It's red. It's red.
Timeout.
I'll try this
Okay,
one.
I'll.
Oh, okay. Don't know why that would be on. Oh,
There you go.
oh,
Oh,
nope.
there you go.
Didn't want to stand.
Should work now. Try it.
Okay, there we go. Hey, so far, the outreach committee did this last month. We did a bunco, which was lots of fun. And we are considering trying to do this on an every other month basis. It's a very simple game and folks had a good time with it. And it's a great way to meet your neighbors because you never sit in the same seat for very long. And then we had a rock painting event. We had a very good turnout for that. And that's always fun. So those two were done. We now are preparing for the spring Easter egg hunt. And we are collecting donations of candy so we can put that candy in plastic eggs and hide them. So that's going to be on March 30th. And we are working on getting a homeowners forum together so that information on that will come later. And we do have time frames for the two bands that will be playing this year. They're both repeat bands. The one that you seem to enjoy the most is the Howling Allen Band, which happens to be my neighbor, and that'll be on September 8th. And we have Peter Morgan Group on June 9th, and both of them got a really good feedback from the group. So that's about it for us. Okay, any questions? Any ideas?
I just have one comment.
Yes.
Teresa did an excellent job teaching us Bunko. Thank you, Teresa.
Yes, that's what teachers do.
ILS committee, Nancy Orndorfer.
Good evening. As you saw in our minutes, we're working on, we want to have two forums. And the first forum we want to have in May, and it'll be discussing only the dike, the dam, the whole bit, and the river, and safeties and whatever. And Ricardo's working on getting some speakers for that. We wanted to separate it, so we want to talk about that. So you hear about the dangers and the not dangers and whatever. And then in July, we would like to have another forum on insurance. And so that's what we're working on. And we hope that the board will approve this for us so that we can do it. That's our main thing right now. Do you have any questions? Okay.
No, thank you.
How are you?
Regarding forums, Marcy brought up for a forum too. I think one of the forums that you were planning, you might want to or might need your the outreach committee's help or part of it.
What?
So it does need board approval, okay? And if we could have actually that for maybe the next month or so, that would help so we can approve it or
Well, we've asked you for permission to do it, have one in May and then one again in July. Am I misunderstanding you? I can't hear. Hmm?
No, we have nothing against
You think they're too close? Is that the two things?
Are you asking for more information
correct.
as
We,
to
we
what?
will have to have the information, what the forum is about, who is going to be invited and so on
Maybe
and so
put
forth.
together a rough agenda is what. I'm
Yes.
hearing?
We'll have, we're working on speakers. We wouldn't have it without speakers and without
No, I
good
understand.
information.
Okay.
But we need a little bit more information about who is going to speak and so on.
How about if you want to have a forum, just reach out to me
Mhm.
and then I will coordinate, get all the details that are needed. I will report back to the
Well,
board with all that information.
Ricardo's working on a lot of it and he's
Okay.
he's going to work.
And
on it.
that's okay. I mean, if Ricardo is working on that,
And
no
we've done it
problem.
We've done this before, Nicole. Yeah.
No, I'm not. Yeah. And I just, if boards needs approval, I just want to help and assist in any way I can and be that.
Sure. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So you want more information? You
Yeah,
want
just-
specific names of our speakers and because we don't want to start really searching for the speakers and getting them when we find out, oh, by the way, now we can't have it.
I mean,
you know,
we want to
we-
give the, obviously, we want to have a large audience and we want to give our homeowners as much information beforehand as possible, right? Who is going to be there and so on. So
Okay,
it
you
would
want
just
more
help.
detail on what
That
we
would be
want to
great.
do. Bottom line. It'll be in the minutes, the next minutes.
well, I saw Ricardo on there. I'm sure he,
Is he up there?
I saw earlier. So
Well,
He's right there in the front.
he's sideways.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
he's hard because he doesn't want to make me mad.
Ricardo, we need a little bit more information. Can you handle that?
Go ahead, Ricardo, if you have something you want to say.
He's muted. You're muted. There he is.
Okay, hold on here.
You got it. You had it.
I think he's hiding.
No.
No.
We
No,
lost
you're
you. We
muted.
lost you again.
He can't hear us. I really, we'll have more information for you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Our meeting
Yes.
next week.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually sitting here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I'm on a volunteer water management trip. So, yeah, the first one would be with a representative of the Corps of Engineers and the Department of Water Resources on kind of the status of the flood control system here in the along the American River watershed, since the Corps has been continuing to do work on the levee system there along in the Campus Commons area, and there's a new contract called Contract 3B upstream and downstream of Watt Avenue. So just give an overall view of the flood safety. The levees have never been in better shape than they are now, but there's always a residual risk. So that's, I'd like the Corps and the Department of Water Resources to kind of explain that statement, that they're in great shape, but could be some big event out there. And then the second forum would focus kind of on flood insurance and where the NFIP is at, and what options there are. Some recent changes called I think 5 additional endorsements that give purchasers of NFIP, the FEMA flood insurance, National Flood Insurance Program, additional options. So I can work with the committee, Nancy and the committee, to put together a detailed agenda. So
That'd be
I'm happy to
great.
do
And
that.
if you guys
I didn't know
could.
you wanted so much detail tonight, but I'm glad Ricardo's in town. Well,
No, it's all good.
that's
But
good.
if you guys could work together with Nicole, that would be great.
Yeah, happy to do that.
Say
the
that
office.
again.
If you guys could work with Nicole on that, that'd be great with our
Okay,
office.
Okay, so you're going to approve it. Well, you'll tell us.
Well, I'm
not gonna
just
be pushy tonight.
1/5 of the voice, so hey,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you,
Okay.
Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo.
All right. Yes, sir.
Grounds Committee, Linda Cook.
Okay, do you have any questions about the minutes that were submitted? Do I have any questions from the board? Did you read them?
Don't look at me. Yes, yes.
Oh, I just thought I'd ask. One of the things we're doing in the grounds committee right now is sort of backing up, backtracking and going over the responsibilities of the grounds committee and the way that we operate and how we get to the board level and the steps we need to take between then between now and then. We're also changing the zone walks a little bit. Paul and Oscar are available and they are coming to meetings if we invite them. I'm hoping that we could have them about every third meeting, but I don't think it's necessary for them to sit in a meeting for 2 hours and then give a 10-minute presentation every single month. So, and I'm sure their employer probably appreciated that too. So,
Well, I was at the meeting,
That's right.
and it was a great meeting.
thank you.
It was very good. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you.
Finance Committee, Susan Timmer.
Hello, good evening. Yes, I don't really have anything to add to the minutes. We spent the meeting getting updates on the board's meeting with Bob Browning. And just kind of finding out what the timing of the reserve study is going to be. So there probably aren't even any questions about that because we were really kind of getting updates of things that you already knew about. But any other questions?
No questions. No, it was a very good meeting, Susan, with great dialogue. And I'm looking forward to the Browning study, which is on site this year. So we'll have a lot of action on it. Nicole's going to be our point person, working with both the board and the finance committee. So we have a thorough review and have much more in depth than what we've had previously. So thank you.
Indeed, yes. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Susan. Now we have election and nominating committee, Karen Lowry.
Are there any questions on, we have both the minutes and what's called a slate. So far, we have 2 candidates. We're very fortunate to have the 2 incumbents, Jackie Gravitas and Cheryl Nelson, have agreed to run again for the board. And those were the 2 positions that are open this year. So they didn't even need any bribes. So we're very, very fortunate. And that March 29th, Friday, March 29th is the last day for any other candidates who wish to put their names in and to submit the necessary paperwork, which would be candidate statement and a completed questionnaire. If they want their names included on the ballot, then they would need to have that in by March 29th at 5 p.m. into the office. Are there any other questions? And of course, then there's the candidates forum on Saturday, April 13th from 1:30 to 3:30.
All right. Thank you, Karen. Homeowners correspondence. Did all of the directors have a chance to read the homeowner correspondence? Any questions? Anything? No. Okay. The homeowner comments, correspondence, follow-up, Cheryl.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that this one is a little bit different format than what you've seen the last couple of months. There's subjects so that we can eventually have an index if you're interested in response to a particular topic, an index that will point you to what the board has answered about that issue. The index is not yet prepared. But I will be going back through the last few that we've done of this and preparing an index. So that's a difference in what you've seen. And I hope that these responses clarify and give the whole community some information on these topics. I don't know if the board has any questions about these.
I have none.
Nope. As always, a good job. Thank you. I know it's a lot of work. Thank you. open session minutes from February. We're gonna have to approve them.
Move
Okay.
for approval.
I second it. Oh,
All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
okay. The financials from January. We're gonna have to approve them. I move to have them approved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then the lien resolution, we're gonna have to approve them too. I move to have them approved.
I second.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good.
So now we're coming to the homeowner forum. How about if I start on the left side? Anybody on the left? Jerry? Oh, okay. I'll go there.
And then on the right. Perfect.
Yeah, you're first.
Joe Gelfand, 406 Elmer Circle. And this is just sort of an FYI. I think everyone here knows that we do a coffee on Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. We have had as many as 50 people show up for coffee. So it's really well worth stopping by. It's people from Nepenthe and Campus Commons. And this past Saturday, Eric Guerra, our city council person, came by. He loves this community and he is very willing to work with Marcy. He talked to Marcy and myself to get some kind of a resident forum, things that we are concerned about, particularly the subject that comes up is homeless. And he's willing to get other officials from the government to come over and do a forum with us. So I just throw that out to you for your information.
Thank you. You might wanna come to the microphone.
I've already contacted the office and of the councilman, and one of the questions that they asked is, what do we really want to hear about? And one obviously was the homeless issue, because they have some new initiatives that they're working on and they'd like some input on that. And obviously we have questions about how do we deal with the homeless people in our hood. So the other question is, what else do we want information on from their office? So if people could drop me a line, either through the office or
Okay, let's
wherever.
make an announcement right here. Why don't you send out an email and ask those questions to 590 residents? And then send it.
Because I think it was a very generous offer on their part to take their time. So actually, I'd been looking at the calendar and looking for some maybe April timeframes for them to do that.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you both. So, oh, yes?
I get a little concerned because we've had Eric Garrett come to our forums in the past, and it seems like he's got like 3 or 4 of us calling him, you know, and I feel like I've had a relationship with his office too, so we're gonna have to be.
Well, maybe he should move into Nepenthe.
What?
Maybe he should move in to our community.
Well, he's great when he comes, because the last time we couldn't, he was here for about an hour after the forum. I mean, anyway, he's a neat man, and it looks like he's going to be reelected, and that makes me very happy. He's been great
Okay,
to Nepenthe.
thank you. Anybody on the right side? No, I saw Barbara Beto.
I just wanted to speak on Eric Garrett's behalf as well. The way he got here was I complained to his office about something. He was nice enough to call me on the phone and talk to me. He did. And the
Very
other
good.
thing I wanted to say was to thank Nicole. Every interaction I've had with her has been really wonderful. Welcome and thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara. Ricardo?
Okay, put myself. Yes, hi, Ricardo Pineda, 1013 Dunbarton Circle. I may have missed it. I logged in just a few minutes late, but we on the ILS committee under Nancy's leadership had, I thought on the board agenda for the, I don't know for what do you call it, closed session, they were going to vote on the purchase of at least one automatic electronic defibrillator. So I'm curious, did that happen during this meeting, or is that going to, were there questions, or is that being postponed? So that's my question, because we had teed that up for the board's action.
I think that was in the minutes from the
Yeah,
committee.
I didn't get a chance to review the minute package, so.
Okay. And so I think that that would come up in a later meeting than when we've had a chance to review it and perhaps ask questions and explore more. I know I have some questions and that perhaps I would refer to Nancy and your committee to answer for me. I'd like to know more background on what happens if we have one, but no one can get to it. What happens if we don't have people trained in the area? What's the effect on our insurance, if there is any? Those kinds of questions. That's from my review of the report that was attached to your minutes. Does anybody else have comments about this?
No, I think you touched on salient issues. Thank you.
Okay. Well, as long as we get those comments that, so we can answer them in writing. I think at least I have, at least in my mind, I have answers, but have to run it through the other people on the committee, Nancy's approval. So, thank you.
Ricardo, Bill Henley here. Just, as I looked at this, it says purchase, we're talking one. We have 3 facilities, and would it be not reasonable to have a similar piece of equipment at both Dunbarton and at the Elmhurst pools?
That makes sense. I mean, you can look at it as a budget constraint to only purchase one for the clubhouse where there's more movement of people, or you can make a decision to purchase 2 or purchase 3. I mean, the concept is the same. There may be somebody that has an emergency where the electronic defibrillator can save their life. It means more people need to be trained, but they are kind of designed to be used by people who have not had the training. And the machines pretty much walk you through oral commands on how to do it. And if the person does not need the shock, meaning they're not in their heartbeat is not shockable, or they do not
They're
need
not
to
in
be put back
VFib.
in rhythm. It could be either case, because I had a case where the person had no electrical signal and the machine wouldn't shock them. So there's 2 ways that they may not need a shock. Either they're gone or their heart is okay. The machine won't shock them. So
Okay, well,
we can,
it'll be good to get the more information and recommendations. So thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo.
And have fun. Where are you, in Puerto Rico?
And San Juan, Puerto Rico, who they had 2 hurricanes in 2 years that caused a lot of devastation. So we're
Well,
here
they
with a
got a
group.
great guy there helping them out. Thank you.
Yeah, along with 15 on our team. So just part of the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. Anybody else on Zoom? Oh. Ashley?
I just didn't hear about what caused the fire. That's all. Any news on the fire? I came in a little late, so maybe we talked about it.
You want me to? So the only thing that I've heard to this point was that it was ashes from a fireplace that were thrown into a garbage can. And that caused it to spread to the next unit. I don't know what the details are on that yet, or what the ashes were like when they were thrown out. They're still in that process and getting more information, but that's what I've heard so far regarding that.
Yeah, luckily nobody got hurt.
Nobody was hurt.
I was on site after seeing several of the heavy fire trucks there. And let me tell you, the response from our fire department was fantastic. We had, several trucks, a rescue crew, and an aerial ladder that all responded, and, you know, they were truly, truly remarkable. And we're very lucky to have what's great, those public servants. They're truly our heroes. So thank you.
Okay. Looks like that's it.
Yeah, do we have anything in the chat?
Okay.
Nothing.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
And they were.